So in this next video, we're going to come back and look at this something called it's called the midpoint method. Okay, so this is the midpoint method. And so it's also it's an alternative method for calculating elasticity. But the difference with this method is it uses the midpoint and therefore it doesn't suffer from this problem of changing when you're going up or going down. So let me give you the formula. So elasticity demand is it's still considered percentage change of quantity demanded and over percentage change of price. But the way we calculate percentage change is different. So it's not going to be the way you normally calculate percentage change. It's going to be slightly different. And so the top part's going to be the same, the Q2 minus Q1. So it's still a change of quantity, right? That's still how much does the quantity change. But the part where we divide it by is going to be different. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide it by the midpoint of these two numbers. So for example, before we were either dividing by, and I don't think we were either dividing by 6, this 6, or we were dividing by 10. And of course, when we change that, then the number changes. And now we're dividing by the midpoint, right in the middle, right? So this is going to be dividing by 8. So whether we're going up or down, we divide by the middle. And then the bottom part, so it's going to look kind of big. The bottom part, still the same. How much does the price change? And then, but we're going to divide that by the middle, okay? So we're going to divide that by this number in the middle. And that middle point's not going to change. Okay, so this makes it a little more consistent. We can go one more step with this. We can get rid of the 2's because there's a 2 in the top and a 2 in the bottom. So we can just get rid of these 2's. Okay, so we end up with Q2 minus Q1, and then get rid of the 2's. If you want to keep the 2's, that's fine. You can. It doesn't hurt. It keeps the logic maybe a little better for some people. It'll give you the same answer. But I'm going to get rid of the 2's just because it can. Okay, so now we can go ahead and substitute into this number. And so we'll say, okay, so let's say we're going from A to B. So we start at, when we go from A to B, this is P1, and this is P2, and this is Q1. Okay, so we'll go from A to B. So then the quantity goes from 10 to 6, and then we're going to divide it by 10 plus 6, or 6 plus 10 or 10 plus 6. It doesn't matter. I'll write it in 6 plus 10 just to make sure I'm keeping consistent. They would be the same thing though. And then on the bottom, the price goes from 6 to 4, right? So we find that the price goes down by 2, and then we're gonna divide it by 6 plus 4. Okay. Again, you could divide it by the midpoint if you want to divide it by the midpoint. Sorry, if you want to divide the bottom part by 2, go for it. It'll give you exactly the same answer. Okay. So on top we got positive 4 over 16. And on the bottom, we have negative 2 over 10, and now we can go ahead and solve and finish them. I'm going to wait till the end to reduce, just because, but you don't have to do this way if you don't want to. Okay, so we end up with negative 40 over 32, and then we can reduce that. Let's see, how would we reduce this? Well, a number that goes in top and bottom, 8. 8 goes into top and bottom, so that'll be minus 5. It goes in. And on bottom, it goes in 4 times. Okay, so we get our final answer is negative 5 over 4. Notice, still, law of demand, it's negative. And if you want to change this into a decimal, which is very common, this would be 1.25. Now, if we do it the other way, it'll be the same. So if we go from B to A, this goes from A to B. If we go from B to A, it'll be exactly the same. Instead of 10 take away 6 on the top, it'll be 6 take away 10. And on the bottom, instead of 4 take away 6, it'll be 6 take away 4. So the sign will switch from top to bottom, but the final answer will be exactly the same. Okay, and so then if we take the absolute value of this 1.25, we end up with 1.25, which is greater than 1. So in the end, this midpoint tells us that this is, sorry, not elasticity, elastic, that this is elastic. Okay, so anyways, this is the idea. The midpoint method is commonly used these days. the point method used to be used much more commonly. If you go much further in economics and you end up becoming an econ major or taking some upper level classes in statistical analysis for economics, then you'll actually probably use calculus. You'll use a derivative to do it, which is actually more similar to using number one. So anyways, I hope you have understood this. Hope you can, this makes sense. There's another video from an outside source that also goes through these calculations. So if you're having any trouble with the calculations, you might want to watch theirs. Maybe their version will be a little more clear to you. Okay, good luck.